And just when it seems like this year's NBA trade deadline could go by with a whimper, Kyrie Irving just requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. We're going to talk about it, break it down right after this.
The number one place for your daily basketball fix, NBA Central. Hosted by the one and only CEO Haize.
Welcome to another episode of NBA Central. I'm one of the hosts here, Haize. You can follow me at CEO Haize. And so we just got word that Kyrie Irving has requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. And this actually is requesting a trade to go down by this trade deadline. So that means that the Nets could be right now working every phone call that they could get. And you would imagine that there's going to be a lot of teams as well that look to see if they can add Kyrie Irving to their roster, and maybe work out a contract extension with him. This has been just the whole saga of the Brooklyn Nets should be a cautionary tale of when you give players too much of what they want. KD wanted to go to Brooklyn. He wanted to play with Kyrie. They then chose to bring in James Harden. They chose their coach in Steve Nash, and everything, that whole house that was built not even that long ago has just slowly crumbled more and more. And even though the Brooklyn Nets have been playing better as of late, yes, they're 4-6 in their last 10. They lost their last game. They did have a 5-game winning streak in there at some point. They're right now seeded as the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference, and trading Kyrie Irving could completely change what the NBA looks like on the back half of the season. The fact that Kyrie Irving wants to be moved from Brooklyn, it opens the door. Who's going to make that trade? You have teams like the New York Knicks. Could they be highly interested and motivated, even though they have Jalen Brunson? Could they? You know, the Knicks always look at stars. Highly unlikely there. Could the Washington Wizards look to try to pair Kyrie Irving with Bradley Beal? And so, like, there's just a lot of questions. And especially with the parity and where it is in the NBA today. And this is something that I've really been talking about basically the whole month leading into this trade deadline, is that if a star did request a trade, if a disgruntled star requested a trade, it could completely tip the balance of what we've looked at this season and be. So it depends on who's going to go after him. Could the Phoenix Suns, who may be preparing for life without Chris Paul, could they maybe look to do something there? I don't want to speculate too much on which teams could try to make moves. There are a lot of teams with assets that could look to not completely blow up their roster if it meant pairing a Kyrie Irving with one of their stars they already have. This is bigger than what I think people understand and will ever fully get. That just how this move, this shifts the look of the NBA trade deadline. Because for so often we're looking at, hey, is Toronto going to blow it up? Is Chicago going to be a team that decides to dismantle their roster and move one of those veteran pieces or even some of the younger pieces, right? Is that what's going to happen with Utah and all the young talent that they have down there that they're trying to make a move on? Like, so there was a lot of those questions heading into, but not anything that was surefire. You now have Kyrie Irving openly on the market and a team that's going to be motivated to try to get him moved as quickly as possible. So we're going to watch this saga play out. And I would not be surprised. The trade deadline is 6 days away, February 9th. If we get some movement on this as of this weekend, do not be surprised at that at all. If we're right back in front of you, either me, C-Dub, or Bobby, and we're telling you guys about a Kyrie Irving deal that may have just went down. Let me know down below, what are some teams that you think could be interested in Kyrie Irving at this year's trade deadline, since he's now apparently going to be available? What teams do you think should be looking to blow up their roster with a player like Kyrie Irving available? Let me know all that down below. Make sure you're following the show at NBA Central Pod on every social media platform. You can also send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, NBA Central Show at gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave us a text and our voicemail, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see what this trade deadline holds for the NBA. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.